work around that card, destroy it while it was face down, and then Joshua Schmidt sided it out once again, because without the element of surprise, he didn't feel it was the right choice.
Okay, so we're going to get the hands loading in. Again, just a second. Just let the judges get those down.
Right. Federico Pastore, on the other hand, we mentioned this. He's got the mind control in the side deck, a one-off, of course. And another important card that he has, and we have seen quite a few times, was a Caius the Shadow Monarch.
Yeah, which is the Monarchs have been making an impact every time they're summoned because of a lack of Fiendish Chain in this format, or other ways to interrupt. Vanity's Emptiness doesn't stop a normal summon. So the Monarchs always have just been putting in excellent work. Even with all the breakthrough skills running around, it's still, they're getting through.
Also denying the opponent Shadow Fusion for free, like as we like to call it. Speaking of which, Joshua Schmidt on his very first turn just activates the signature card of the Shadow archetype, sending an artifact to the graveyard. That's once again Moraltach. And together with
Shadow Beast.
Shadow Beast.
Allowing him to draw a card, and he summons El Shadow Construct.
So the tension is high. The funny thing is, in the background, you can't hear this, but it's very prominent over here. There's a lot going on with the Italian fans and, of course, also the German fans rooting for their respective hero and cheering them on. And after the incident in the semifinals, you can guess that some of the people who were like split down in the middle are also rooting for Federico Pastore at this point in time.
Mistakes happen.
Yeah.
It was investigated. It wasn't deemed intentional. It wasn't picked up by any of the judges that was there. It was a huge, long chain of decisions, and it led to that. But here we are in the finals. Sinister Shadow Games being used by Federico.
He's basically trying to mirror in some way the move that Joshua Schmidt just did at the end of his opponent's turn, trying to assemble something, or at least get into that stage where you can assemble something to then come up with a blowout turn. Was that the defusion in the graveyard?
Yeah, he had the defusion set. His opponent's Squamata gets flipped face up, target destroy one monster your opponent controls, and then he sent Shadow Dragon to the graveyard, so he was able to take out 2 of those cards.
So once again, the defusion has been revealed without having an impact.
There it is. It's mind control.
That's the mind control, but Joshua's got a good answer in
Sinister Shadow Games.
Yes.
Deny his opponent gaining the most out of this flip effect.
Yeah. Usually, mind control is such a good card because when you're going up against Shadows, you know that not just half the time, 90% of the time, the face-down monster that they control is going to be a Shadow monster. And if you flip it, you're denying your opponent the option to get its effect. Of course, afterwards you can still exceed summon, which is something that...
very important that he gets his flip off here. Joshua will get the effect of Shadow Hedgehog, which will allow him to search his deck for the Shadow Fusion, in this case, Shadow Core. He already has a Shadow Fusion in hand.
So let's have a look at the cards in hand, I guess.
Pretty low, but we've seen the duelists the whole weekend turn these small number of cards into massive fields very quickly. Okay, so we're seeing a Shadow Fusion.
And, well, Federico definitely wants to get rid of the card that he only controls until the end of the turn. However, Joshua's got a perfect answer of a compulsory.
Yeah, there's no way that the fusion can summon.
The Shadow Fusion, and he's gonna get the effect of his the monster that he returned to his hand one more time. This is gonna put him far ahead. Also, Federico had to reveal the last card in his hand to confirm that he couldn't fusion summon in that situation. So all of this is huge news for Joshua Schmidt.
Yeah, Joshua now has perfect information of the game state, and he's going to be seeing if he can assemble what he can assemble around this. He knows exactly what to play around. So he knows all possible responses his opponent could have in his turn, which changes everything. When you have that information, it it just makes your life so much easier.
Yeah.
And Joshua's hand,
All of a sudden, from 0 to, well, not 0, but like 3 cards in hand, he went up to 5. That gives him a lot of options. There's a Mathematician who gets taken down by Artifact Sanctum. That allows Federico Pastore to special summon a Moral Tach that will then deal with the Mathematician.
okay, so he fuses fuses 2 monsters together to summon El Shaddai Construct and triggers the construct. And it's important to note that Federico doesn't have a Shaddai Fusion to counterplay this El Shaddai Construct. Okay, so Falco going face down.
And Schmidt sitting in a very good position here. Still gets to attack. So Federico Pastore is left with like almost no cards. I mean, he's only got that level 5 monster.
The morale attack, it doesn't
Do
well,
much on its own, does it?
It can be tribute fodder for a Shadow Beast if he draws it.
He's
hidden his card, so I don't know if the judge caught if our attack caught the card. We'll see it in a second, regardless.
He's checking his graveyard, but once again, we talked about this Soul Charge, a card that has been very prominent throughout the weekend. Not present at all, neither in the main nor the side deck of Joshua Schmidt. And Pastore, Federico Pastore, only runs 1 copy in the main deck and 0 copies in the side deck. So these players are not sold on Soul Charge. There is a Foolish Burial. So he's got all the options now.
Okay, so yeah, 1 Foolish Burial. How does he turn this into something? So, okay, so he sends Hedgehog to the graveyard, which lets him search his deck for Falco. Falco, quite effective. It can actually bring the Shadow Hedgehog back face down and then get a fusion, which would be a free fusion as long as Joshua commits that. But he's just going to go ahead and Synchro Summon immediately.
Not wasting any time there.
Yeah, it's like, why give your opponent more turns when you can answer the El Shaddai Construct so well?
Yes. And it's mostly you're either trying to buy yourself time or you're trying to shorten the game as much as possible. In this case, it's buy yourself time, I guess.
Oh, Blackluster Soldier being sent to the graveyard. Squamata also being sent to the graveyard.
It's definitely like the Blackluster Soldier would have liked to draw that card.
It's an excellent turnaround card for this game.
Although
he gets a
Michael was already quite good to at least get back into the game.
The Shadow Falco.
Joshua Schmidt draws into Vanity's Emptiness. That will provide him with an opening to first assemble the field and then back it up with that card, which denies his opponent special summons at all. And so he will not be able to fight back. So like all he has to do, I'm making it sound so easy, but it's actually not, is to come up with something that Federico Pastore can only beat with a special summon.
He has drawn a Shadow Dragon, and he has Shadow Dragon and Vanity's Emptiness in hand. Shadow Falco, Shadow Core face down. He does have a face up Falco that he's just flipped. Let me just take a quick look at his at Joshua's extra deck.
So now he's going with a Synchro Summon.
Yep, it's HTS Cybemus, I believe it is.
Yes, which banishes both monsters for good. Which is definitely in the interest of Joshua, who is ahead on cards, so he doesn't mind if he's losing one as long as his opponent is also losing one.
Yeah, he also has Advantage Emptiness should Federico decide to flip up his Shadow Falco. And then that leaves him with just an attack mode bird that doesn't do a lot. Joshua, on the other hand, has a Shadow Core face down, Shadow Beast to go along with his Vanity's Emptiness. And Joshua, is he going to let this go?
It doesn't seem like he does respond.
I think he's asking for the target.
Yeah, I guess that's the reason why he doesn't respond right away. But now there is the Vanity's Emptiness. And just one more card for Federico Pastore, because his Falco on the field at this point in time is like a dead card, isn't it?
It does nothing. It's just a very, very small tuner. And Joshua is going to draw a card. Then he's got Shadow Beast, which he can then flip up, draw 2 new cards, discard a card.
So Federico forced to pass, can't even set his face down, his remaining card. We're gonna know what it is in just a second because the judge just took a closer look at it to enter it.
Shadow Fusion, he decides not to set it.
Ah, I see.
And Vanity's Emptiness stopping him.
Right.
Okay, so Shadow Beast being flipped up.
Joshua Schmidt seemingly drew into
Artifact,
Moraltach.
attack, and Shadow Hedgehog.
So his beast is taking down Federico's remaining monster, who only has a Shadow Fusion at this point in time.
He discarded an Artifact Sanctum for the Shadow Beast, I believe. Yeah, I was just trying to figure out which card was discarded.
Shouldn't the Vanity's Emptiness be?
No, it's Vanity's Emptiness is only destroyed if a card on the field or from your deck is sent to the graveyard.
And there we go. One of the cards that had, I don't want to say breakout performance this weekend, but that definitely put up a strong showing.
Is that breakthrough skill that's just been...
Yeah, it looks like it. So Federico Pastore is really hanging in the ropes.
There's the handshake.
And then Joshua Schmidt goes for it, and Federico Pastore immediately offers the handshake and knows that this game is over. And Joshua Schmidt just once again showing some emotion, something we don't see every day when he's sitting on that table, and just summons a bunch of monsters, attacks for game. That's how it's done.
Yeah, he takes down, and he's going to be the YCS champion.
Yeah, and you can see that even though, I mean, obviously he's happy and everything, he's not super happy and outspokenly happy like some other winners that we've had in the past. The reason is after his semifinals, he himself walked up to the head judge and said, I think there was a misplay. My friends now told me after they've seen it on the stream, the problem is they see it with a 5-minute delay, so they couldn't interfere right away. And he himself called it out, said, I'm very sorry, I didn't mean to, just happened in the moment. And so now you can see that reluctant happiness on Joshua Schmidt's side of the field, whereas Federico Pastore has put up a great showing for Italy. Gotta give him credit. The way that he dismantled Paolo Pacciano's deck in the top 8 match, which you can also see on stream just by going to the past broadcasts.